Hi, my name is Britton Carter, and this is On the Line. And actually, I need to tell you my full name is Britton NewOne Carter, and this is still On the Line. Before we get started, let me let you know how you can follow us. You can follow us on Facebook and Twitter at On the Line TV Show. And you can also follow us on Twitter at hashtag Watch On the Line. And you got to forgive me because I'm a little bit nervous tonight. You know, I have a guest here who I've known ever since she was a little one. She was a little kid running around, but she was always an intelligent child. And as a matter of fact, she's the nuts and bolts behind On the Line TV show. She's the one that gets everything up and running, gets everything going, gets the guests. She does it all. She even brings the water. She's amazing. And tonight I have with me the one and only Nahamani Yisrael.
Good evening, Britton. How are you tonight?
I'm excellent.
Good. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, and why not? You know, I thought that, the public deserves to know who's behind this show. And, to your credit, you do some amazing things. You brought some amazing guests to this show. You made me look extremely well, and I appreciate it so very much. So I want to return the favor, and I want the public to know who is Nahamani Yisrael.
Well, I appreciate that. My name is Nahamani Yisrael. I'm a Cincinnati native. I'm also the founder of Nahamani.org. We are a Cincinnati-based communications firm. We specialize in things such as consulting, business management. We also do public relations management and website design and development. So I've been doing websites now for about 17 years.
Okay.
We've been doing it under the name Nahamani.org since 2014. And we've had the opportunity to work with some of the best business brains here in the city. So it's been very exciting.
Well, what else would you expect? You're one of the best business brains in the city. In fact, you're not only my producer and you not only have your own ventures going on, but so many people I know call on you. As a matter of fact, earlier today, you were telling me that you just had an opportunity with the Cincinnati Public School.
That is correct. I'm currently working with the Greater Cincinnati Microenterprise Initiative, and I've been gifted 3 summer interns from CYC's program.
Okay.
And they invited us to the Board of Education today to teach 30 young entrepreneurs about starting their own business, being entrepreneurial in mind, how they make decisions, and how their future customers might make decisions. And it was really nice to see the young people really engage. They came up with business concepts, and they put together commercial skits, and they had a great time. They said it was the best presentation thus far, so we were very proud to be able to be a part of it.
Okay, so tell us, what was the motivation behind that?
I've always wanted to work with young people. I feel like our young people, a lot of them get a bad rap. Society in general tends to stereotype them and put them all in a box when there are some very talented young people here in Cincinnati, and they're doing some positive things, and I want to be able to highlight that and just give them a foundation so that as they're going out into the world, whether they choose to go to college, the military, start their own business, or even have a career in corporate America, they have that foundation and they understand what business is really about, and what we're doing is solving problems for society. So, they've got great, fresh ideas. They haven't been brainwashed by corporate America yet, so they've been really helping me out this summer. The 3 young men that have been assigned to me for the 3 interns I'm working with, we've been actually going into different businesses that are having a performance gap.
Okay.
They might be having trouble reaching a certain target market.
Okay.
One social service was having trouble getting their clients to their appointments on times, and we went in and diagnosed what the root problem was causing that, and then gave them some solutions that they can use to fix that. And it's just very rewarding work. We get to really understand the business that they're in. They tell us all about, who their stakeholders are, who their founders are, who their clients are, and we actually got to interview some of the clients and get their perspective on it, because they're going to be affected by any of the solutions that we come up with. So why not make them a part of the problem-solving team?
Right. So let me ask you, what are the age groups here that we're talking about?
These youngsters right now are 18 and 19 years old. They are part of Jobs for Cincinnati graduates, so they have just graduated high school.
Okay.
2 of the young men that I'm working with are scheduled to go on to college. One's going to UC's main campus, one's going to Blue Ash, and then another young man is enlisted in the Army. So
Oh,
he'll
great.
be deployed here or go to boot camp here in a few weeks, and then he'll come back in February and start his college career. So.
Wow, that's great experience for our young people. Now, are these, for those that are going on to college, will they have like transferable credits that they'll be able to take on with them into their college career?
They'll start off fresh. They'll start off as freshmen. But what we're teaching them right now is going to be the foundation. They're both going to be business management students.
Right.
So understanding how businesses are created and who plays a part in that is going to really help them to be successful in college. A lot of the concepts that we've already taught them, they're going to learn in the classroom environment, but they won't be new concepts to them. A lot of times our youth are disadvantaged when you start talking about business because they don't have that generational legacy that some other demographics have. So this is giving them a nice firm foundation so they can go on to do great things.
Right. And speaking of being disadvantaged, and I don't mean to imply that you in any way that you have been disadvantaged, but you certainly had always had such an easy road at it. And can you speak a little bit, by me knowing your dad, who's a great guy, very intelligent guy. Love you a lot, Dez. And you had kind of a tough road at one point.
I had a unique upbringing. I was raised in a very affluent neighborhood, while my parents lived in a very poverty-stricken neighborhood. So I got to see both sides of the railroad tracks, per se. And as I grew up, I made some choices to go what I'll say is onto the wrong side of the tracks. I got started off very early, started a family at a very young age, and I've struggled with poverty. I've been homeless. My children and I have actually stayed in a shelter here in Cincinnati, and we were very blessed that we were able to come back from those types of pitfalls in life. They were very temporary, but they gave us, we were a lot stronger, a lot closer because of the things that we've gone through. I've suffered through the disease of addiction, and I've been able to recover from that. So although there are some sad days in my story, the ending has just been phenomenal. It's been a very happy, victorious type of story. So I'm very glad that I was able to go through the things that I've gone through, because I wouldn't be where I'm at now if I hadn't. Right.
They say no bestseller has ever been written without any content.
That's right.
And your story is certainly a bestseller. Someone needs to write it.
Well, I plan to do just that.
Okay. Here at On the Line, you've done some great things, and we've talked extensively about some things that we have coming up. And I know you're very passionate about our youth. Can you speak a little bit about the summer forum that we're planning to have?
Yes, it's very exciting. We are going to put together a summit, per se, with some of the youth that have been affected by gun violence, and also some of the mothers that have been affected by gun violence, and some of the city leaders who are supposed to be shaping policies to prevent such violence. And we're going to get them all together, have a joint conversation where everybody's voice can be heard, everybody can share their perspective, and hopefully when we walk away from this summit, we will come out with some great solutions to put an end to some of the violence here in Cincinnati, because our young people, they deserve a chance to grow up and live their lives, and too many of them are being cut short at such a young age.
Absolutely. And it's so great to have someone that's on the same page with you. Oftentimes we call each other with the same thoughts.
Yes.
You're thinking the same thing I'm thinking. And that's one of the things that has stood out for us in having this platform. What sense is it to have such a platform if we don't use it to enhance and empower our youth? That's our future. And some of the injustices, and I like the way you formed it when you said some of our leaders that are supposedly, because not everybody that's calls themselves leaders are actually leaders. Right. Leader is in your actions, and what you do. And if you're not out here on the line, doing it every day on the line, then what are we doing? And I love the fact that you're out here on the line. You're doing your thing every day. You're out here. And you're kind of like one of our unsung heroes, which is why I wanted you here, because people need to know that this person here, this producer, this young woman here who's so passionate about our city, so passionate. Can you talk a little bit about we talked about the immigration laws that are coming into effect early on during our first segment. Mm-hmm. You know, we were talking about Cincinnati as a sanctuary city, talking about some of the things that have happened and some of the shootings. Talk a little bit about the sanctuary.
Cincinnati being designated as a sanctuary city is kind of in response to what's going on in the federal government level with keeping certain demographic people out of our country. Cincinnati said we're not going to be a part of that. We are going to accept people. Our community thrives because of diversity. We have 2 wonderful universities here in Cincinnati, and it attracts people from all over the world.
Absolutely.
And we need that type of talent and that type of mindset in order to grow as a city. And if we start shutting people off because of where they're from or their religious beliefs, then we're really selling ourselves short. The city is only going to flourish when we have everybody contributing and making this a better city.
Absolutely, absolutely. Couldn't have said it any better. As a matter of fact, you give me the lines to say anyway. But this is a great human being. I love her to death. I love her father to death. And we really look forward to you doing much more
Yeah, I've
in
got
our
some
city.
great things lined up.
I'm sure you do. And speaking of that, your kids, your son. Now you have a son that's a gifted artist, a gifted musician.
Yes, I have a 19-year-old who is a musician and artist, and he's just very creative. He's very what they call left-brained. He sees everything in full color, and he's very unique. Unique dresser. He loves to skateboard, which
he does,
which is unique for our youth to be into skateboarding. Right. He loves basketball, and he's working on a clothing line, and he's wanting to expand that to not only the skateboarding market, but he wants to bring in a female demographic as well. I also have a 15-year-old daughter. Mm-hmm. She is a bombshell. She's just a little firecracker.
Yeah, she is. She's phenomenal.
She is, and she's working on. She wants to go into cosmetology, so she's working on getting into the makeup industry. She hopes to create her own brand of cosmetology products and go off to LA or New York or Milan or somewhere fantastic and do makeup for the superstars. And she's very talented.
She is. She's very talented. And as a matter of fact, we're discussing her own show. And I look forward to being a guest of hers, as well as she being my guest. We look forward to that.
Yeah, today she got to be a part of the Greater Cincinnati African American Journalist Society. They're putting on a boot camp. So she got to go to the boot camp and actually learn how to interview people, how to read a teleprompter, how to, have poise and communicate with the audience through the camera. And they all the journalists here in Cincinnati loved her. They said she did wonderful, so I can't wait till her show comes out because it's going to be awesome.
And that's so great. How important is it for us as Black parents to allow our kids to see that there's other doors to be opened other than in the servitude industry, other than in sports, athletics, or music? Nothing's wrong with any of those, but how great is it to show them that you can be anything and anyone you want to be. You can be a scientist. You can be you can be anybody.
That's right.
You just don't have to be an athlete or a chef or somebody waiting
movie star or a rapper.
You just don't have to be. There's so many other options available for you. You can be politicians. Hint, you can be a politician. At any rate. And we'll drop that bombshell later. But at any rate, we hope that our youth are watching, and we hope that the parents are tuning in as well. To hear these comments coming from someone that this didn't stop when the first door was shut. She continued to strive, continued to open doors, not only for herself, but also for her kids and other kids. And how important is it for us to be parents to kids that aren't biologically ours?
That's right.
The kids in our community.
I was very fortunate growing up that I had lots of parents that I wasn't biologically attached to. moms and dads and people that embrace me and love me. Even when I was acting out and
That's
acting a
right.
fool, they loved me and they wrapped their arms around me. And it allowed me to be able to love other children that may not be my biological children, but I love them so much. These young people that I'm working with over the summer program, they're my babies, just like the two that I gave birth to.
That's right.
The young people I got to meet today, they were all my babies, and they all did wonderful. And they're doing so many good things, and they need a chance. They need an opportunity. They need somebody to listen and let them know we care about you, that you matter, you have value, and what you're doing is important to us. You know, we get so
Absolutely.
busy in the rat race and running around, and we have to stop and acknowledge that they are very valuable. They're our future leaders. If
They
we don't
are.
take the time to mold them and shape them and let them grow into all their greatness, what kind of society are we going to have 20, 30, and 40 years from now? They are going to be the ones running this country, running this
That's
city,
right.
running these companies.
That's
And
right.
we've got to prepare them. The world isn't easy. It's not all butterflies and bubbles. We've got to prepare them. And, that's our job. That's our role here in this community, is to love all, to embrace them all and let them all know that we love you and we need you.
That's right.
We need you to
That's
be
right.
okay, because that helps us be okay.
That's
So,
right. That's right. The road to greatness is often paved with preparation, and more preparation.
Right.
And by the way, you still know I'm gonna tell your daddy on you if I see you do anything wrong.
That's right.
So I want
And
you
I'm
to
sure
know.
my dad is watching. Hi, Dad.
you know. So at any rate, you told me something else that was really interesting, and I wanted to get this out because I thought it was such great news. You had a birthday.
I did.
You had a birthday. You were off. You wasn't here, and Brandon and I kind of made our way through. We missed you. We missed you, and it was a great show, but we missed you. And during that birthday, you did something that was truly amazing. You divorced corporate America.
I did. I retired from my 9-to-5 job so that I could devote all of my energy and all my time to my company and to the initiatives. I have a nonprofit that I want to start. There's a couple books here in my mind that I need to write. I met Leslie Edwards, who was one of the Tuskegee Airmen, and he gave me an assignment to write a book about my grandfather, Ernie Waits.
Right.
So I'm working on the formula for that, and I couldn't be tied to a cubicle for 8 hours a day. There's way too much going on, and since I've quote unquote retired, so many doors have been opened. I mean, this show has opened a lot of doors for me, and just being out there in the community and people knowing my face and knowing about this show has opened up a lot of doors. And being available full time has been wonderful. So
Right.
I've been, very fortunate that, most people don't get to retire at 40. Most people, we got people working up to 70s and 80s. I don't think you can collect
Right.
Social Security till you're 67. So,
Right.
but I'm still working.
67.
I believe that's the age nowadays.
Oh Lord, have mercy. I got
It
a
might
few
be
more.
72. I don't know. Trump's in office, so we don't know what's going on.
Good point. Good point. But let it not be 70 or 67. My God, I'm counting on this in the next couple of years. At any rate, one more thing on the issue of community and kids. Mm-hmm. When we talk about this gun violence, if you had a solution, if someone asked you, what would be your solution? And I know this is extreme, but we got to come up with solutions. If you had something that you can bring to the table to help as a solution, what would that be?
One of the solutions that I'm currently working on, or one of the initiatives I'm currently working on, is to get some of these young people some self-defense training. I think a lot of them are carrying weapons because they don't feel safe. And, I feel that if they were to get some training by some professional, whether it be boxers, paramilitary training, some professionals that really know what they're doing and can show them how to protect themselves without the use of a weapon, I think a lot of our kids would be able to put down the guns, and it would make our city a lot safer. I definitely want to see the young people build positive relationships with adults that are doing something successful and doing something prosperous for the city.
Right.
And so I'm trying to develop a formula for that. I want to get Punch House involved and actually do something downtown on Fountain Square where the kids can get in the boxing ring, they can put the gloves on and be trained. We've got a couple of other fitness companies that have expressed some interest. And, let them burn off all their energy.
That's right.
We look at them, they're tall, they're big as adults, but they're still kids. Let them play. Let them just be kids.
That's right.
Let's have some fun and we get in there, we play, we sweat it all off, and then we go on about our business, and our city's safer, our streets are safer, you and I are safer, because, if someone's carrying a gun and they don't know what to do with it, none of us are safe. We're all at risk. So we gotta work together on this as a community. And I know that's not gonna solve the whole problem, but every life we save, we're actually saving 2 lives. We're saving the person who may have been shot and the person who did the shooting, because their lives will never be the same again.
Yeah, and you mentioned fear. And as you were mentioning fear, I was thinking about PTSD, the trauma that's gone undetected in our communities. I can remember as a kid, my mother, the first thing she would say to me as I was leaving out the door would always be, boy, if the police stop you, don't run. Don't run. And it's that fear that's ingrained. And I know it's a difference there, but our kids are walking around here in fear. And that's the first time that I've heard that brung to the table, that aspect of it, the fear aspect. And that is so real. We tend to cite every other issue, but let's get with these really deeper issues. Let's talk about the fear.
They're young human beings. They have feelings just like we have feelings.
Right.
They're afraid. They got to worry about the police. They got to worry about someone shooting and robbing them. They got to worry about so many things that they don't just get that opportunity to just be kids and just ride the bikes and play and do what kids are supposed to be doing.
Right.
We put a lot of stress on them. And stress is hard on us, and it's extremely hard on them. Right. And they know when we're stressed out. They know when things aren't going well. They're very perceptive. Right. So, we really do have to have these dialogues with these young people and just listen. A lot of times we have these lectures and we talk at them and we, give them all this great advice, but we rarely do we take time to really listen and understand what's going on in their heads. Right. And if you listen, they got a lot to say. A lot. They do. They have a lot to say. And they're right there on the front line. So they can put it all on the line. So I can't wait till we do our youth show. That's going to be awesome.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome. As a matter of fact, I was just at a restaurant, Just Cooking, which is in downtown Cincinnati. Mm-hmm. And it's one of our only soul food restaurants that we still have in the city. Mm-hmm. And I was down, and the young man that worked in there, when I spoke to him and asked him to be on our show, he's coming on the show, as a matter of fact.
Awesome.
And one of the things that he said when I was asking him, why was he working in the restaurant? And he said to me, because he didn't want to live like he used to live. He didn't want to be out there. He didn't want to die. And I thought that was so profound that the first thought came to his mind was that he just didn't want to die. He said, I would rather work for my auntie.
That's right.
Than to risk my life. And that's so great. I can't wait till he comes on the show and you get an opportunity to meet him. I thought it was so refreshing, and he waits on you with a smile, and the food is good too. I mean, the food is good. Okay. So we can't do a call to action.
You got to get him to bring some samples up here for us.
We can't do a call to action, but get down to Just Cooking. You know what I'm saying? And get you a bite of that. It's working. So there's so many more of our youth in our community that just want alternatives. They want to find a way out of the violence. I listened to 2 young girls going through a park when there was a shooting not far away from here on Forest a few months ago, who actually rode through the park and said, "Dad, they always shooting." Our kids shouldn't have that to say out their mouths. Right. They shouldn't have to have that to say. They shouldn't be conditioned for a war zone. This is not Beirut. This is the United States. This is Cincinnati, Ohio. Let's start taking care of our babies. Nahamani, we got just a couple of minutes.
Okay.
And I'm going to give you the opportunity to tell our viewers what's going on with you. Where can they find you at? How do they stay connected to you? besides the show?
The easiest way to find me is on my website, which is nahamani.org. It's NAHAMA.org. I have my phone number, my email, and all of my contact information on there. You can also follow me on Twitter at Nahamani Yisrael with a Y, and on Facebook at nahamani.org. And on Facebook, it's spelled out DOTORG. So be sure to connect with me. I'd love to hear from our viewers and see what they think of the show. And yeah, definitely let's keep it all on the line. Thank you, Britton, so much for having me today.
I love it. I love it. We got a couple of more seconds, and
Okay.
I really don't want to cut you short, you know,
right.
because I know that there's one other thing that you're passionate about, and that's the work that you do with recovering addicts.
That's true.
Real quick, can you touch on that? Because I'd be remiss if I don't let
I
you
have
touch
been very
on that.
blessed to work with the Public Relations Subcommittee. We've done some work out in the community. We were at the OTR 5K. We're trying to be at a couple other races, and we are working on getting a public service announcement to air on television so that the whole community knows that there is help out there. We've made up flyers where people can come out. They can either go to our website, which is nacincinnati.com, or they can call the Hope Line. And on our website, we have a list of meetings that run from early in the morning to late at night, 7 days a week. So if someone's struggling with the disease of addiction, there is help out there, and there is a group of people that can really help people recover. Regardless to what their drug of choice is, regardless to how long they've been involved, there is help out there. And when people are ready, we're ready for them. So thank you.
Good stuff, good stuff. Hey, remember, if you're not doing everything, if you're not doing anything, you're not doing nothing. We got to keep it on the line and help our youth, and not just our youth, but our whole community. We need each other. We need to stop with the lip service. It's no longer can we just sit around our kitchen tables and talk about the problems that are happening in our community. We've got to get outside the house, and we got to get with folks and put it on the line. This has been Britton NewOne Carter with my girl Nahamani Yisrael, my producer. B, thanks a lot. Thanks for being here. See you next week. Keep it on the line, y'all. Peace.